and my phone died. And my husband, then my boyfriend, gave me an iPhone 4. And he told me, this iPhone is going to change your life. And I felt that this was a little bit, exaggerated, but it wasn't. Because I joined Instagram as a user. This is 2011, so a long time ago. And I started making photos in this Valencia mode with this filter that everybody was using, and you felt that you were a very big photographer, but you wouldn't, sorry. And yeah, so I started by taking pictures of, things around me in this minimalistic style. But after some time, I think I developed like an eye for my own imaginary. So I started taking all the kind of pictures, and all of them, in all of them was a story behind. So I think this is something that I brought from my advertising practice as a copywriter. I love telling stories, even when they are just in a photograph. And I play with, the viewer. So all of them have a title. So you need to understand what is behind the title. And Vogue Italia, they were looking for the best photographers of the year, and they saw my photos, and they asked for the high-res photos. I was taking the photos with an iPhone 4, and retouching them with filters and on Instagram, so my photos were like this size, approximately. Long story short, I told them that I didn't have the high-res photos, but anyway, they selected my work for being in an exhibition in the Carla Suzzani gallery in Corso Como, and I started working for fashion. I then had a camera, a real one, and these are some photos I was starting taking for instance backstage for Condé Nast, for W Magazine. These are some photos from fashion shows, Victor and Rolf, Prada, Dior, Tom Brown. And then I started collaborating with brands like Hermes or Another Stories, Manolo Blahnik. These are portraits for launching the iPhone from, I don't remember the number, maybe 12, with portrait mode. So I did this anti-selfie portraits. I thought that it was interesting to launch an iPhone with the portrait mode to an anti-selfie campaign. And I was really obsessed with something that still now a lot of people, probably all of us, are the followers. I became the most follower person in Spain, anonymous person in Spain. But I realized that it was kind of easy for me to do something that it's gonna please my audience, but maybe it's like being a little bit repetitive for me. So I started losing a lot of followers because I started doing other stuff, like exploring other territories. And I was obsessed with the idea of what happened if Instagram dies, and what happened with me, with my work. And I started doing other stuff like this exhibition. This is an installation in the Design Museum in Barcelona. And I jumped from the smallest screens of the iPhones and the smartphones to the biggest ones in Times Square. This is an installation about, when I was there, I thought that Square was kind of a social media thing, like an Instagram platform in real life, because go there, you have a lot of different people from different countries, religions, genders, etc. And you are looking at the screens for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you are like hypnotized by ads and these images, like very flashy, very bold. But after 20 minutes, if I am asking you, what have you seen? Probably you have no idea, so it's kind of similar to what is happening with any social media platform, especially Instagram, TikTok. So I did this, I switched off all these screens in Times Square, and I brought like a sunrise from a very deep black to all the gradient till a very, very light blue, bringing a little bit of peace to this very crowded place. And so I was quite critical of these platforms, even they gave me a lot. And ironically, I ended up working for this guy at Facebook in Paris, in the creative shop, working for Gary and Image, basically. And this is when AI appeared in my life for the first time. The first time I heard about AI was about Llama. Llama, the AI model developed by Facebook, Meta, now. And then I had no relationship with that team. I was in the creative shop department. But then, just a year later, DALL-E 2, the model, appeared, and they selected 300 people for testing the app. One of them is Francesco. This is here today as well in the audience. And we were starting just, like creating stuff. For me, it was incredible. To prompt use words, which is something that I was used to do because I was a copywriter and a creative director. And something appeared. But I felt that there was a lack of meaning there. A lot of people created a lot of images, very bold, but with no message behind. So this point of view was one of my obsessions. And I did this project called Juan y Josefa. Juan y Josefa are my mother and my grandmother. They are from a very little village in the south of Spain. And I thought if it would be possible for AI to rethink the past, not just to think about the present or the future. And just a little context about Spain during the dictatorship period. During 40 years, women should be modest, clothing should cover the female form, and women should be discreet in public. This was like the general rule for women. What means to be submissive, asexual, and invisible in society. So I test the model using this idea. These are Juan y Josefa, but this can be any mother or grandmother from any Spanish person living that way in that period. So I placed them in different scenarios, in different little villages in Spain, facing back to the camera. The reason because I decided to do this were basically two reasons. And sometimes the limitations for me are, like doors to other places. The first reason was because it was impossible to do a right face or a right hand. And the second reason I think is even more important. It's because you can identify with them and no matter who you are. Also because in my pictures I decided to hide my face because I didn't want to be the main character. So there you are with these bold women, not invisible at all, very sophisticated. Also, I merged these ones with, folklore from Valencia or Seville or other places in Spain. So as you can see, these photos, these images are not perfect, but there is a kind of a soul behind, because there is an idea behind. And in my practice, I used to do things just for the sake of doing it, for exploration. This is why I'm working in beta the most of the time. But sometimes this brings me some joy in terms of professional terms. I won the Drug Mirror Foundation Award, nothing related to AI. It was an award about artistic idea. So I was able to talk with real people with the grant and to make the project bigger. I talked with women between 70 and 95 years old, and they brought these photos and all the stories behind. So next year, with a better model, I started figuring this out, like, okay, how can I express the stories behind all these women? Like, for instance, the idea that they couldn't stay in a bar without a man. It was like something weird at the moment. Or modeling to wear black, the black color, what was a symbol of grief. Or just, to be discreet and modest and cover the feminine form. And I had the opportunity of doing something physical for the first time. I printed my own photographs, which are the most of them digital. Here, in this place, which is a dream, is the Mirror Foundation in Mallorca. So I got the opportunity of printing them out. And then Versace saw this campaign, this idea, and they were launching the first Greca bag campaign, which is, Versace, the values of Versace are grace and femininity. So I suggested, why we are trying to do something using AI? This is a merge technique. It's impossible to do something that perfect at a time, like 2023. So I took the photos of the bag, then I used AI for creating all the environment and also Photoshop, and I did this Greek goddesses. And then OpenAI launched the Sora model, this time the video model, and I did Soledad. They selected 10 short films, and again, in this moment of this history, in the most connected era ever, we felt probably more alone than ever. So this is Soledad. Soledad is loneliness in Spanish, and this is the story. This is the story you're gonna see now. These were the 10 films selected. Just 2 of them were like a narrative. The rest of them were very bold, but more related to a music video film or music video vibe. We were launching the short films and the Metrograph Theater in New York. So I think this is part of the magic of AI. So just one person can do something and then do a screening in New York in a theater and watch it in a big screen. So this is Soledad. I hope the sound is working well.
Me gusta estar aquí. Me gusta la montaña y mirar el horizonte. Me gusta andar sobre el río. El silencio habla un idioma que entiendo. Pero un día sentí un vacío, un anhelo, llegué allí donde había muchos. Cuerpos que se rozaban, miradas que se cruzaban sin detenerse. Veía rostros, pero no miradas. Oía palabras que no entendía. Caras que no me veían. Estaban cerca, pero lejos. No me hablaban, no me decían nada. No supe qué hacer. El final, cuando estaba perdida, me encontré. No era exactamente yo, pero se parecía a mí. Tal vez no era nadie, o tal vez era todo. Fuimos uno. No hablé, no hizo falta. Por primera vez me preguntó mi nombre. Le dije, me llamo Soledad.
Okay. So I had a lot of close-ups of haute couture and fashion. This is Prada. I had a lot of them, and I was super lucky of being able of being there in these fashion shows, the lineups, or taking photos backstage. Also, little details. This is the other, and also being very close to the big creative directors, Carlo Phil, and Westwood, Marc Jacobs, you name it. So I had all of these photographs, and I didn't know what to do with them. I thought about creating a book or something like this. So fashion had this super beautiful side about the detail, the craft, the effort. But also fashion has another side, which is more superficial, and it's more related to people who are worried or focused on themselves than on the clothing or the idea or the creativity behind. And also people that are more worried about the people that are more worried about themselves. This is at the exit of Balmain. Excuse me my pronunciation because I'm not French. Maybe you realize it already. And this is the exit. We were working up there, and it was impossible to go out. Impossible. This is the same show. All people, like this amount of people waiting for celebrities. So I thought, okay, fashion is beautiful. It's nice, and it's like a dream. It's also a tool to express yourself. At the same time, it's so unsustainable, and so it's so superficial sometimes. So there's like a back in the fashion system. There's something which is not right. So I like this idea of merging something which is perfect and beautiful with something that is sometimes disgusting, because sometimes it is. So under this concept of there is a back in the fashion system, I created Bacture, which is a merge between the words back and couture. And this is. Can you please switch off the lights or make it less powerful, please? Thank you so much. the starting point for Unseen. Unseen is the story of a clinic, a vision clinic, but it's quite different from another ones, because even you can visit this clinic called Horizon, when you can go to improve your sight, your vision. You can also go for another reason, which is the most important one. And this is the story behind Unseen. Can we switch off the lights, please? Thank you.
Seeing. That's the reason why some of our patients visit us. However, the majority of our clients come from other reasons. Their eyes function perfectly, but they want to decide what to see. They want to have what we call selective vision. They want to stop seeing certain things that don't make them feel good. She, for example, doesn't want to see how she ages. Through a psychological and neurological exploration, we identify what they don't want to see. This is the most complicated part. For example, ugliness. Mr. Delacroix wants to stop seeing what he considers ugly. He finds homeless people, abstract paintings, rats, and any disability horrible. However, he finds violence very attractive. We make them disappear. The most challenging cases are from people who don't want to see inside themselves. They don't want to see their fears, their mistakes, their demons. The highest percentage of these clients are politicians, business people, and millionaires. We're not here to judge any of them.
Is the treatment reversible?
No, although only very few regret it. Some say that not seeing certain things has generated a feeling of emptiness in them, but the vast majority are much happier.
So, artificial intelligence, for me, it's also a tool for not just expressing myself, but exploring other territories, so I'm explaining stories from another angle. And I thought, okay, can we explain this story from another angle? And this is just part of the footage. What if we are talking about not the story itself, but the surgical procedure to get selective vision? So this is, of course, it's not real, but it could be the footage of this Horizon clinic. It's just an abstract. So, this is an example of things that I want to explore, and AI is making me, like thinking in another way. But at the same time, I have always been obsessed with vision. My vision has always been not very good. are some photos, self-portraits, taken like 8 years ago or so. So I'm just repeating my own obsessions in a way, but with another tool that is allowing me to go farther. But at the same time, we are living in this moment where we are trusting AI for almost everything, but we don't know exactly who we are when we are talking about AI or with AI. With my mom, saw this short. She told me, "Are you in New York?" And she said, "No, Mama, estoy en Barcelona." She said, "But you're in New York. Estás en Nueva York." "No, es AI, es IA." She said, "Ooh, this is gonna be complicated." And I said, "Yes, it's gonna be complicated."
Isabel, none of this is real.
What are you talking
We're not
about?
standing in New York where instructions in a program, lines of code, making us move and follow.
I can feel the cold.
You
Straight
feel
under my
it because
ribs.
the system wants you to. It's all
So I'm
generated.
not real.
So I'm not real. And some other one is telling me, "Yes, you are," but it's telling me you are in a virtual way. It's talking to the real, is a data virtual, which is real virtual. So it's kind of complicated. And now we are talking about AI, and we are also very used to talk with ChatGPT or other LLMs. And this was the first thought for generating delegate thinking. Not generating, but creating, because they are real devices. Almost 50% of people that use LLMs talk to them for asking questions like, "Can you leave my husband? Can I leave my husband? Should I leave him? Should I leave my job? What need to answer to this text message?" So personal things, nothing related to knowledge, more related to who we are, our own feelings. So I talked to Special Guest X, their company based in Madrid, with also different offices in New York, and they are experts in creating objects, tech objects, but with a soul, with a narrative behind. I talked to Miguel Espada, who is the founder, and explained this idea. This idea was, can we create devices, 3 devices, that act like oracles? But it's kind of an irony behind the technology. So these are 3 devices, real ones. One of them is giving you a color. It's a binary one, so it's either blue or pink. So it's like throwing a coin and deciding if it's gonna be red, the meaning is X, and it's gonna be blue, this is the other meaning. The other device is, all of them are made of gold, and this is made of a model of pill. It has a ruby in this part with the model of pill, and it's giving you, when you click the button, the device is giving you 2 words. But the AI inside the device is acting in the opposite way that it's acting normally, which is predictive text. So if I say, "Who are you?" This is giving 2 totally ambiguous words, and you need to interpret the message. It's like the horoscope. You think the machine is telling you something, but at the end of the day, it's you who are the one interpreting the message. And the last one is a watch. It's a watch. It's made of gold and emerald. And when you open the clutch, there is a time. And are you who is deciding what to do at the time? Like 11:11. Okay, I'm gonna send a message. I'm gonna send the email. I'm gonna buy something. And this is the video explaining the 3 devices. And all of them are contained in a velvet box with a message from Get that says, "At the moment of which means when you take a decision, everything is going to work because you are the one that takes the decision.
In a time when humans consult machines before making decisions, delicate thinking devices act as contemporary oracles driven by advanced intelligence technology. The answer is a signal you must decipher. Crafted in gold and precious materials, because finding your own truth is the rarest luxury of all. Delicate thinking.
And it was ironically doing something talking about AI. It allows me to do something in a very craft way with a jeweler, an artisan in Madrid. So it was a very beautiful process, merging this delicate craft with technology. And this is like a premiere because till now I'm just showing my own work, sometimes for a client, but always with the disability visual vision. And this is for a client. It's gonna be launched next month. It's for the Campamento. The Campamento, it's clothing for kids brand. And they saw one of my lectures, and after the lecture they came and say, "Can we collaborate? We would love to do something together, but can you put your own in the place of our audience? So maybe if you feel comfortable with this, can you do something which is not that disability virtual?" They say, "I don't know, because I'm disability virtual, so I don't know if I can do something that I'm not." But I'm also this person that started a long time ago working in an advertising agency, so I kind of like a client. And this was one of these projects for a client, but I feel very, very proud of it. I did it with a colleague of mine, and we both are ella, like she. And this is the story. It's a story about kids. So the language, it's not childish, I think it's quite adult, but the story behind it is. doesn't feel like the typical AI film. And we are already there. I heard some people talking about how perfect is AI technically. I don't mind because I know we are going to be even, like farther. But it's always about the story and a vision. And we could do, like this very bold science fiction movies with AI, but we can also do other stuff, like your own vision. And talking about the vision, this is the last project with NASA, collaborating in the Psyche mission. It's not so much about the project, but about the process. Long story short, I'm not a physics expert, so don't ask me anything later about Psyche. But Psyche is an asteroid, which is in between Mars and Jupiter, and we have two options to know how the Earth was created or was formed, also the solar system. But one of the possibilities is going to the nucleus, to the core of the center in the Earth, and take a little test. This is impossible because it's super high temperatures. And the other option is finding a metal asteroid. Metal asteroid because the Earth is a metal planet, and the most of the asteroids are rocks. But then NASA, observing Psyche, they saw the refraction of the sun, and they thought, okay, this must be a metallic asteroid. And I was selected with 10 scientists to tell the story behind the Psyche mission. The reason why I was selected, I don't know yet, because the rest of them were all of them physics or mathematician or experts in science. But it was an open call. I'm a very big fan of science fiction, and I participated. There were like 70,000 people participating, and I thought, okay, I can just try. And the questionnaire was about how is your practice helping science? And it was like 0. How is your audience interested in science? 0. What contribution has you done to science? 0. But then there was another last question related to why do you think you can be part of this mission or help us to explain this mission better said? And he said that I was interested in fashion and in narratives, and I thought that NASA is one of the most followed accounts on Instagram, but the most of the people that follow NASA, they are not following NASA for the science, but because for the fiction. So they are more interested in the science fiction part. So I thought that both fashion and science fiction are bringing us the possibility of going further, of not being here in this, stage, but going a little bit farther in another place. And I thought my audience could be interested in something like this. So I suggested them to create speculative minerals. So it's not about what is happening now, it's about what can happen when they will be there. Finding minerals like gold and lithium, but also another kind of minerals. And these two women were the heads of the mission, Laurie and Lindy, and there was just a 20% of possibilities of, like launching the rocket because the weather conditions were very bad. And they were talking about frustration. And I felt that very connected with this idea of film frustrated sometimes because you're working in a creative process and then doesn't happen, doesn't work. And of course, as a creative, what we are doing is very small in comparison. But at the same time, they said, what we are doing here is not for us. And Lindy, the woman in the white shirt, she said, I'm 65 now, and I probably should be with my grandchildren, but I'm here, and it's not for me, it's for mankind. So I feel with AI a little bit similar, it's not for us. Maybe we can do little things, little steps, but it's going to be bigger. It's not just generative, it's another kind of AI. Finally, the weather got better, and they launched the rocket that now is somewhere in space, going through Mars and Jupiter. And this is the elevator that astronauts take from Earth to space, and this is also narrative because they can just put 1 meter and 250 meters, but even then there is a narrative, the necessity of going farther, and I think this is because we are here, at least I am here, to go farther, to keep exploring, not for doing something perfect, but for doing something that have never been